just kind of want to talk big picture. How do you feel like the bye week was for you and the guys? I know you guys were in the building last Wednesday, but just to be able to kind of take some time, evaluate it at the midpoint mark, how do you think you guys were able to evaluate and take that bye week?
Yeah, I think we approached it the right way. We came in, we got some work done. We took a closer look at ourselves and what it's going to take for us to get better and honestly make this push on these last 8 games. We understand we need to be playing at our best, and we need to start to separate ourselves. So the best way to do that is to self-evaluate and then also put in the work. So it was good to also be able to reset, take some time away mentally and physically, get some guys back, heal up, individually. And, we got some good work in today. So feeling confident going into this week, another division opponent. And, Giants are coming off a great win, and they battled us very well. We were forced to, come back. We were fortunate enough to win that game, but we have to understand and realize that the first 3 quarters of that game, we were they were winning. So we had to take a close look at that and make sure that we prepare well and be ready for Sunday.
If I can follow up really quick, was there one thing that kind of stood out in that self-evaluation where you feel like the defense needs to make a change here in the second half?
Oh, no, nothing in particular. Collectively, just looking at how teams plan to attack us, what worked against us, what was effective, and just making sure we have those things fixed moving forward.
We'll go Ruben and Les.
Hey, Rodney, I wanted to ask you about Michael Jacquet. We had never seen him play before that Dallas game. He played a lot after Slay went out. What have you seen from him in practice, and what did he show you in his, it's an undrafted rookie in his first game. It's a lot to ask.
Yeah, man. That's one thing that M does a great job at within our room. And I think this coaching staff as a whole is preparing guys for the moment. And Mike's another example of that. He stepped in, man, and had to fill some big shoes. Slay goes down, and now he's asked to come in a meaningful game with our season on the line. And he didn't blink. And continually out there, he'll tell you, he was saying, bro, I got this. I'm good. Like, you don't have to tell me everything. And that's what you want to see from a rookie, a guy like himself who's confident. And he made plays. He tackled well. He dropped the interception. And, we made fun of him for that. But I think he played a very good game.
Les and then Tim.
Hey, Rodney. I want to ask you about another guy, T.J. Edwards, who played in front of you. He finally came back from that injury and had a very good game, I thought, against Dallas. What does he bring to the group when he's healthy and playing well?
Yeah, TJ is a smart, instinctive player. He's a good tackler. Very has a strong football IQ, and there's always been a guy who's made plays when he's out on the field. I've liked him as a rookie, and he just comes to work each and every day. Brings his toolbox and just gets to work. So I was glad to just see him back in the lineup after missing a few games and contributing in a major way, coming up with that big forced fumble that led to my touchdown.
Tim and then Dave.
Hey, Rodney, I wanted to ask you about Brandon Graham's on-field persona. It seems like he's constantly talking, constantly getting after the opponent. I'm wondering if there's any kind of favorite moments that you've witnessed with him on the field and what it's like to have that energy that he creates.
Man, yeah, I always tell everyone about BG. He's a different guy on the field. Off the field, he's man, probably the nicest guy, always full of energy and smiling. But get out on that field, man, and he turns into a monster and constantly talkative, man. And I think he calls everybody, he considers everybody a little boy, whether it's the running back or whether it's the offensive tackle he's going against. And it's intimidating, I think, as a team or a player to hear a guy who talks but also can back it up in a manner that he does. And he brings it every week. He doesn't change. It doesn't matter if it's a preseason game or it's the Super Bowl. BG is BG.
Steve and then Zach.
Hey, Rod, you had a pretty busy day on election day. Take me through everything you guys did that day, and did it serve the purpose you wanted?
Yeah, Tuesday was monumental. I think it kind of started the week in the right way. Myself, my wife, our foundation, numerous of teammates, other city officials and community leaders all just stepped up and got out into the community, particularly in the neighborhoods where voter turnout wasn't as high in 2016, and we wanted to place an emphasis on that to encourage voter turnout, to thank those who have voted, but also thank the poll workers. We were able to provide hot chocolate, tea, coffee to various sites, as well as some food. So it was a great feeling just to see how prideful the city of Philadelphia was that they voted. And to bring some excitement and energy into 2020, especially surrounding voting, where anxiety was at its all-time high, and everyone is kind of just been kind of enclosed and just been down. And we brought music, we brought excitement, we brought the Eagles into those neighborhoods, man. And it was proud just to see me as an African American man, my community vote in the manner that we did. And so it was like I said, it was a very memorable day for me. And I was just grateful to be a part of it. But like I said, to see Philly have the turnout that we did, and know that we did affect this election. And yeah, everyone, I think, across the nation is looking at Pennsylvania and Philadelphia and just kind of celebrated because of it.
Zach and then Jeff.
Hey, Ronnie, as a follow-up to that, because I was going to ask you something similar there. You've done quite a bit, but was this the most significant, or that you've done off the field? Would you say?
Zach, you're breaking up a little bit again.
Yeah, sorry. I think he said it's the most significant something.
Is my audio bad?
Yep, you good now.
Yeah, sorry. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm having bad audio today. You've done quite a bit since signing here in 2016, but was that the most significant endeavor off the field you've had since you signed here?
I think it probably is up there. We know how important this election was to us all, regardless of who you voted for. That was shown in the amount of people who voted across our nation. And, like I said, it felt good just to do something different, kind of change the culture and maybe shape the culture and surrounding voting, and how maybe, it can kind of, we should look on it and moving forward, I think. But like I said, it was a memorable moment. And I got to give a lot of credit to, my teammates as well for being a part of that. It couldn't get done without them, but also my wife, who kind of was the center of it all, who was the organizer, the visionary behind it. And I just went out and executed and played my role. But it was good just to see so many different people come together and, like I said, get out into the community and encourage those voters to get out there and do the right thing.
We have time for a few more, so we'll go Jeff, Jamie, and Paul.
Ronnie, with Marcus Epps being the first player that's positive for COVID-19 during the season, obviously that affects everybody on the team, but you're in the same position as him and around him a lot. Did that change anything for you, or did you, because knowing that you were in close contact with him, have to do things differently in terms of who you interacted with?
No, it actually it's unfortunate that Marcus came down with COVID. I hope he gets better soon and we can get him back here quickly as possible. But I'm confident in our protocols. and our staff and how everyone has approached the COVID situation. You know, us all wearing our masks. Most importantly, the contract tracers, and I think that's what's most important is that no one, based on the trackers, came in close proximity enough where the staff felt like they had to remove any one of us, which is a good thing, right? So guys are practicing social distancing the right way and being very cautious and mindful about this disease that's upon us. So hoping Marcus gets back as soon as possible, we just have to continue to make sure we wear the mask and do the right thing.
Jamie.
There we go. Ronnie, can you describe how different this bye week was? I mean, this is the first time, I'm sure, in your NFL career, you guys didn't have free reign to leave because you had to be tested for COVID every week. And so how different was it, and how does that affect things going forward?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a very different. Everything in 2020 has been different or abnormal, you would say, and so you just have to adapt. I think going into this bye week, we all understood what would be asked of us and what would be required. So, I mean, we were prepared for it. And at the end of the day, like I said, we came into work, Monday and Wednesday, which was good for us moving forward. And then we got some time to get away. At the end of the day, it still feels good not having to come in here and deal with the meetings and work, whether it's one day or it's 4 days that were given to us. So I'm grateful for it all, but most importantly, glad to be back at work and looking forward to this second half of the season.
Last question here with Dama.
Yeah, Rodney, a run defense question. You guys have done a good job at stopping running backs, including Zeke a couple of weeks ago. It's been the misdirection plays that have given you the problems in the first week of the season. What can be done to eliminate those going forward in the second half of the season?
Yeah, I think when teams tend to do a lot of misdirection plays, it's because they try to slow you down, right? And we're a fast flowing attacking defense, and so we can't allow them to dictate what we do. I think the biggest thing with those trick plays is you just have to have good eye discipline, and what it's going to take is us just rallying to the ball. Those plays aren't always going to be perfect, but you make up those plays with effort, great discipline, and guys on that play just having the will. And so I think for us, we understand that we're at that point in the season now where teams are kind of pulling out everything, and we're kind of doing the same on offense, right? This is just where the league is, and you see it across, the league every single week. So I think we just have to continue to be aggressive, attack, and just have good discipline.
I wanted to ask you, you got Dallas Goedert back last week after him missing 4 weeks with that ankle. What's the impact of getting him back on both the run and the pass game, and what's the impact on you inside of having him back?
He definitely has a big role on the team. He's very explosive, very powerful guy in the run game and in the pass game. And just to have him back it does us all good. And just for me and him to be able to communicate the way we do, playing in the middle, it definitely helps me out a lot. Definitely helps him out a lot. And we're ready to roll, man. We're happy to have him back.
We'll go John and then Martin.
Hey, Greg, another player you guys recently got back on the offensive side of the ball is Jalen Reagor. It seems like there's more pre-snap motion when Jalen's in the lineup. Is that fair to say? Does that guys help you with the sort of eye wash and horizontal stuff?
It really just depends, but honestly, we're going to do whatever it takes to win. So if it's doing those type of things, if that's going to help us win, then we're going to do it.
Martin and then Dave Zangaro.
Hey, Greg. Following up on that a little bit, how does Jalen Reagor returning help you guys, as a receiving unit? I mean, just from what we saw in the game against the Cowboys, like how does it affect the way, you guys are effective and stuff like that?
Yeah, the defense has to answer to everybody. You know, they have to answer to every receiver, tight end, running back, whatever it is, quarterback. They just can't key on anybody, and he spreads the field out. He's very explosive, has great talent, and we're happy to have him back.
We'll go Dave and then Ed.
Hey, Greg, we haven't had a chance to talk to Alshon in quite a long time. I know he came back from the one injury and then he got another one. How has he handled all that behind the scenes?
He's very positive. You know, he always encourages us to just keep our heads right, and he's a guy that's steady, in tune with the offense. He's steady studying, and he's always working on his body and then on his craft. So that's all you can ask for with a vet like him, and we're happy that he's still continuing to grind.
We'll go Ed and then Daniel.
Hey, Greg, it seems every year you kind of play the Giants, once, and then a couple weeks later you play them again. Are there any challenges of playing a team, so quickly right after having just played them?
We have to treat it like every other game, honestly. So happy that they're the next game, and we're going to approach it the same as we do every single week. So we have to just execute, do what we do, and go out there and play hard and give it all.
Go ahead, Daniel.
Hey, Greg. Jalen Rager strikes us as a particularly confident individual. What is he like behind the scenes? How do you see that confidence come through, in meetings, especially from, such a young guy?
He's eager to learn. He's always asking questions. He's always staying in tune. He's always trying to learn. He's applying himself, and that's all we can ask for.
Really just kind of want to talk big picture. Whenever we talk about the bye week, we talk about kind of mid-season evaluation. What was this week off for you like, and where do you feel like there still is, room to grow here in the second half of the season?
Yeah, I mean, being able to get away a little bit and just recharge and recover and kind of reflect on the first half of the season, I think is always good, as a player, as a person. And honestly, it comes back to, the things that we've kind of talked about, just little things, fundamentals. Whenever I broke down the team a couple weeks back, I made the point that we're a little thing away from big things. And so if we continue to keep that mindset and continue to work each and every day, the work ethic has been there, the energy has been high. I really have a lot of confidence in this organization and in this team to put a little run together.
Martin and then Les.
Hey, Boston, this is kind of like one of them obvious questions, but I mean, the possibility of getting Miles back, I mean, how much does that help you guys, and how badly do you kind of need him over the second half of the season just to make things easier for everyone else?
Miles is definitely a great player, man. We're excited. We're excited to get him back. Y'all see the productivity. Y'all seen the production. Y'all seen what he can do with the ball in his hands. So, I'm excited to have that guy back, man. He's a pleasure to work with, pleasure to be around, and I'm looking forward to continuing to work with him.
Les and then Jeff.
Hey, Boston, following up on that, how do you think your role changes if Boston does play this week? Do you think he's ready to jump back in and, have the huge bulk of the carries, or do you think you guys will be splitting things? Do you have any idea yet?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. That's above my pay grades. But like I said, I'm ready for whatever role Doug P wants me in. I'm ready to contribute in whatever way I can. I'm just gonna be ready for the opportunity.
Jeff and then Damo.
Boston, the last game, you had a really productive first half, and for whatever the reason, you guys got away from the run. And looking back at the run offense all season, you guys have had production. Miles has had some really big runs here and there, but I'm wondering how you guys view it. Do you view that you've been consistent enough, or do you feel like there's definitely some room for improvement?
I think that I think of it as like a well-oiled machine. You know what I mean? There's multiple components to it. There's multiple parts to it, and so you can never really look at one thing and say, okay, that's one thing. I think in order for the machine to go, everybody has to work together in unison. We have to have that chemistry, and so there's definitely things that we can all work on fundamentally. And I know that going into this second half of the season, we're going to continue to address those things, and we're going to continue to work.
Damo and then John McMullen.
Yeah, Boston, I wanted to ask you about Dallas Goedert. Having him back, and his unique ability as both a blocker and a receiver. What has he brought to the run game, having him back on the end?
Yeah, man. He's a great player, man. He's very well rounded. Being able to catch out of the backfield, he's definitely a mismatch, and but a lot of times what's overlooked is the dirty work in the trenches, and his physicality and his ability to sometimes move ends, is really incredible. So like I said, it's cool to have him back, and I'm just looking forward to us getting back to work.
We'll go John and then Ed Benkin.
Hey, Boston. Giants coming up again. Obviously, you've had a lot of personal success against them, but I was just curious, is there any positives or negatives about seeing a team so quickly and playing them so close together that second game?
I think that, man, yeah, playing a team twice doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter how the first result went. You always expect their best. No matter what. And that's the mindset, and that's how we approach every week. It doesn't matter who they are, how many times we play them, how many times we beaten them, how many times we lost to them. We're gonna give them our best effort. They're gonna get our best punch, and this is the NFL, so I know that they're gonna be able to make adjustments, and we're gonna be able to make some adjustments too. So I'm looking forward to a physical game. It's gonna be a physical game. I'm looking forward to it.
We'll take one more here with Ed.
Hi, Boston. Kind of following up on that, the Giants held you guys to 10 points until the final 5 minutes of the game the first time you played them. What did they do so well when you faced them defensively that made them so tough to play against that first game?
They're a good defense, man, and a lot of times it's more of what we do to ourselves than what a defense does to us. So, but I mean, seriously, credit goes to them. They're a good defense, and watching them over the weeks, they've continued to improve. And like I said, it's going to be a physical game, but we have to do what we do fundamentally, and we'll see what happens.
Coming off a very productive game for you, what does that do for your confidence moving forward? Just putting that kind of performance on film.
Yeah, I mean, I think just being out there and being able to be around the ball more, and I felt just really comfortable in that game in general. So I think just kind of carrying that over to the next game, and furthermore, will help me a lot. But for me, it's always what have you done for me lately? So I'm going to this next game and clean slate, and I just want to make sure I do my job and help this defense play well.
Les and then Ed Kratz.
Looking at the game that you did have against Dallas, do you consider that kind of a breakthrough for you, showing the coaching staff and everyone what you can do in that kind of situation? Jim Schwartz talked today about maybe you were kind of typecast coming out of the draft or going into the draft with the 4.87 40 time and so forth. What do you think you bring in as an inside linebacker, and are you quick enough to play all three downs, you think?
Yeah, I didn't know it was 4.87. I thought it was a little lower than that. But no, I think in general, I've just been a guy who's always worked at my craft. So I think technical wise, I knew I had to be sound in everything I did just to make sure that I have great angles on the ball. And at the end of the day, it's something that I did for 5 years in college. So I feel really comfortable in the middle, and I feel comfortable taking on blocks, and I feel comfortable in coverage. So I did a lot of that in college, and similar schemes here. So I feel really comfortable in the pass game, and I think in that it's more just making plays to show people that you can do it. So I think building from last game is something that'll help me a lot going into the rest of the year.
And if I can just sneak it in real quickly, having been a quarterback earlier in your career, does that help you with like football IQ and stuff like that, and knowing what offenses are going to do?
I mean, a little bit, and I think me in high school was a lot of zone read stuff, and so that's something that is now in the NFL game a lot. So I think maybe that has a little carryover, but high school quarterback's a little different than these guys here. So I think it helps me a little bit, but it's kind of hard to tell.
Thank you.
Ed and then Dave.
Hey, TJ, I know we've talked in the past about, not being drafted, but how has that experience of not being drafted kind of shaped you as a player over this last year and a half?
Yeah, I just think it just put a chip on my shoulder, something that I use, and I think I'll always use. To be honest with you, it's one of those things to where I just want to be the best player that I can be at all times. So even though it was a decent game, the other week, there's still so many things I could clean up and be better at. So I was really just excited to get back in here and get back to work and get ready for these Giants. So I think it's something that's always with me, I always carry with me that 32 teams passed on me, and I get to go out there, every single day at practice, every day in the weight room, and prove to them, why they made the wrong decision. So it's exciting to me. I think I like that underdog feeling.
Dave and then Zach.
Hey TJ, do you kind of feel like your instincts can make up for any lack of straight line speed? I mean, is that kind of what you've seen in your game over the years?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's one of the strongest things about my game is I feel that I'm always finding a way to be around the ball, and I think that comes from experience in college with all those snaps played and all those different situations and things like that. And then coming here and being able to watch some of the vets last year and how they see things and how they do things, and then kind of do it my way this year and figure it out for myself. So I think the instincts definitely make up for a lot in terms of what you guys would call 40-yard dash time and all that stuff.
We'll take one more here with Zach.
Hey, TJ, Les asked you if you thought you would have the chance to show that you can be a 3-down linebacker. I didn't quite hear your answer there. Do you think they're going to give you the opportunity to be a never-down player?
I couldn't tell you that. I come in and I do what I told in terms of what the coaches see for this personnel and things like that. I think I definitely can do it. I have all the confidence in the world in that. Now it's just, the NFL is all about, when you get your number called, you have to be ready to, make a play, and you have to be ready to make sure that you're on your game at all times. So, and whenever that time is, I'll be ready.
How'd it go at right tackle? How did you feel out there? Making that transition, was it about what you expected, or more challenging than you thought?
Yeah, it was about what I expected. It took me a minute to get comfortable, and once I got comfortable there, I just found my my little comfort circle, and I was able to just rely on my technique and training.
Les and then John.
Hey, Jordan. So what are you this week? Look, I guess Lane is back. Jason's back. Are you a guard? Are you a tackle? What are you up to?
I think I'm at running back this week. We'll see what happens.
Okay. That makes sense.
Nah, I honestly have no idea. I'm just like last week, taking the same approach. Just gonna do whatever it takes and do whatever the team needs me to do. Whether that's come off the bench or be that extra tight end on those packages. So we'll just see what happens. Team first.
If they do need you to play inside, have you practiced there at all? Have you practiced at guard much? Done that in preseason games those first 2 years or anything?
Yeah, I haven't done any inside work at guard. So
probably not then.
Yeah, probably won't see me at guard. I mean,
okay.
John and then Martin.
Hey, Jordan, you kind of gave us that very unique explanation about moving from right to left side and what you compared it to. Now that you've done it over a full game, do you think it would be easier for you to switch back and forth if needed?
Yeah, I think it would. I think the biggest takeaway for me from switching over is to, get comfy faster. How to start off the game, playing like I do on the left side. So that's my biggest takeaway from the Dallas game was how can I better myself to get more comfy and get settled in at right tackle. So that's one thing I'm going to do.
Real quick, followed up on that, DeMarcus Lawrence is obviously a very accomplished player, and he had that play right away, and then he kind of settled down from there. Did you have any, I don't want to say fear, but thoughts before you settled down?
No. Just bad technique from my end. Didn't think he was going to play like that of the second play of the game, and that's what caught me off guard. But that's a learning mistake that I can better myself with, and just like I said, I relied on my training. Every time I've tried to think about what they're going to do, it's put me in a bad situation. So that's how I got comfortable in the second half. I just relied on my training, and I thought about myself and how I was going to execute the block, the technique. That's how I ended up getting comfy at that right side.
Martin and then Jeff.
Hey, Jordan, I wanted to ask you kind of like the mental aspects. First of all, like, going back from, playing pretty regularly for like 4 weeks to, possibly not this week. And also, if you were to get in the game, I mean, how much more prepared you are than you were, let's say, a month and a half ago. Thanks.
I mean, every time I can get on that field, it's definitely going to make me a better player. Sorry, and give me that 1 ounce of experience that I need and how to weather situations in the game. So really, that's a great question.
Jeff and then Tim.
Isaac's been back practicing now. You got JP, Lane is getting better. What's it been like in the offensive line room with getting guys back after having so many weeks with injury after injury?
Oh man, it's awesome getting our vets back. Anytime somebody comes back, the room gets bubbly. It's it's a lot more just getting the numbers back in. There's a lot more like interaction now in the meetings and discussion on how to run plays and protections. So it's always good to have the boys back, from injury and back into the fold.
We have time for a few more, so we'll go Tim, Zach, and Paul.
Hey, Jordan, I wanted to ask you about Brandon Graham's on-field persona. He's known to constantly talk, to his opponent. I'm wondering if that carries over to the practice as well, and if so, what does he say to you?
Oh mate, the one thing he says, "Fat boy." So he calls everyone "fat boy." The smack talk is like every day at practice, even when we're stretching. Like we'll be stretching and he'll just walk past like, yeah, fat boy, I'm coming today. I'm like, oh God, I'm like, come on, BG man, give us a break. We're just trying to stretch.
What's that energy do for you guys?
Sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, all right, we'll see. Like I try and like challenge him. It's like, all right, we'll see.
Zach and then Paul.
Hey, Jordan, you had a 5-week stretch that you haven't quite had in a long time. How was the bye week for you? Was it important for you to get your body right after playing 5 straight games?
Yeah, man, bye week was awesome. I'll tell you that. Having that going 5 weeks straight, not really having a day off. The bye week really helped with just relaxing and just easing the mind, man. Like it was so nice to just wake up knowing, like, you know what? I just got to go get tested today. Get tested and come back home and chill again. So it gave us time to just relax and just get our bodies right. Saw a couple of the guys. We came in a couple of times on the weekend. Thursday to Sunday was the days that we had off. And it was awesome to see the numbers of the guys that were in here, working out and doing treatment and doing recovery. So it was awesome just to get that extra 4 days rest and just, recover.
Last question here with Elmo.
Yeah, Jordan, what was Stout's review of your performance against Dallas, since his opinion is really the only one that matters? What did he say to you?
He said I did a great job, but also I did a bad job. He said, you did a great job, but it wasn't perfect, and, we got a lot to work on. So it's pretty much a very short and simple guy, I mean, I don't know how he is with the media. I don't really watch his interviews. But if he talks a lot with you guys, I'll be surprised. But he keeps it like short, simple, and very direct, very honest. That's what I love and respect about the man. He'll never like butter you up. Just keeps it short, simple, and very direct.